Hello, I'm Tyree Ware of TMT Arts. Thank you for joining us for another Ebony Alkebalon American Appreciation Month special. Today joining us is Mr. Joseph Keitt. How you doing today, Joe?
Doing good, doing good.
So Joe, what got you into Parks and Rec?
It actually stemmed from being an athlete, college athlete, high school athlete. After I started running in high school, cross country and track, went on to run at Coastal Carolina, majored in sport management. Of course, those two kind of go hand in hand, athletics. With being an athlete, also athletics, Parks and Rec. Always had a love for it growing up. Didn't know I was necessarily going to do it as a profession once I graduated, but I'm glad I chose that path. And I've been in Parks and Rec for about 7 years now. I think so. I guess since I graduated. So yeah, going on 7 years. But like I said, they kind of go hand in hand. Athletics, been a Division I athlete. Did multiple internships with Parks and Rec, and then when I finally graduated, had the opportunity to continue to work in Parks and Rec, and since then, I've been doing it every year, some shape or form, whether it's volunteering, whether it's full-time, part-time. And currently I am in Columbia, still working in Parks and Rec and still coaching, and honestly I think it's something that I'll be doing for quite some time, so I am excited to continue the journey and keep progressing.
All right, Joe, what would you say some of your trials were from starting out to becoming a professional in Parks and Recreation?
Some trials, there was a few. Honestly, the biggest one would probably be realizing just because you got a degree does not mean you're gonna be at a full-time capacity in the profession. When I started, I had to get a part-time job, but I knew eventually, being patient and being determined to advance in this profession, I had to do these things. And like I said, with having 6 years in the game, I was able to get a lot of experience to where I am now that helped me.
So, what was it like right out of CCU?
It was quite challenging. Right after I graduated, or actually before I graduated, I applied for numerous positions thinking that I was ready for a full-time job with a bunch of responsibilities, and realistically that was not the case. Um, the type of candidates that people or organizations were looking for were people with experience, and considering I just graduated, I did not have a lot. So for those first, I would say 5 months, I didn't find anything. Didn't get callbacks, didn't get email backs until I finally um, got a call back for local YMCA in Columbia, where I was offered a part-time job, and that's where it started. And then I learned from people in the parks profession that this is usually how most people start. I mean, if it's not part-time, it's at a low entry-level capacity full-time. But I knew, with my drive that it wouldn't be long, so I was only part-time for less than a year. I was able to obtain a full-time position that next year. And since then, I've been in a parks professional full-time. Like I said, started at local YMCA, started my full-time capacity for the city of Orangeburg, made my way to Kershaw County, and now I'm currently representing the Richland County Recreation Commission. And every place I went, I've gotten experience and learned something from those organizations.
What does your passion as a parts professional do for your piece?
Good question. It provides me with not only stability, but progression. I can see the people that I work with on a daily basis progress in life. Whether that's the youth, whether that's adults, whether that's young adults, I get to see it firsthand. You know, whether it's a kid that's 6 years old growing up in recreation, or whether it's a young student athlete starting college 17, 18 and graduating as a senior, learning what they need to know to be an adult in the real world. So progression would be my answer.
What does Black History Month mean to you, and how do you feel like it's been portrayed?
Black History Month to me means to highlight the people, black people that paved the way for literally the past generations. And that's something that we should probably do more than just in the month of February. But as far as portrayal, I think we can always do more. And when I say we, literally everybody. Not enough people are getting recognition for what they've done. And I think we should highlight not only the black people, I would say the pillars of the black history, but for more exposure of black local representatives. What I would like to see is more so a highlight of the people in local communities. You know, the people that are great role models, who are doing the best they can. Outside of marching, they could be leading a march in their own communities. That probably won't be getting the notoriety of national news, but could be getting at the local level.
As black people, what do you think our next big focus or talent should be?
Focus, I would say ownership. Ownership of really any and everything, whether it's businesses, corporations, definitely importantly land. I think that's one thing that we need to focus on as a people. Acquire as much land, as much resources as you can. I think that'll progress us definitely in the future.
Just so we can have a little time capsule, what would you say to the future?
I would say to invest. Whether that's in time and resources, but definitely invest in the people around you. Like I said earlier, I think the people of this age and this era are willing to help the next man or woman. So I would say just to invest. That could be, like I said, time, money, anything. Invest and make sure, obviously, it's beneficial.
Well, we reached an end to another interview. Thank you for your time, Joe. Would you like to give us any final remarks?
Final remarks. I would say what I just said is to invest. Be wise at what you invest in, especially your time. And be patient. That is one thing I don't think I've said in this interview, but that is one trait that I've learned growing up. Black in America is be patient. And sometimes, you can't afford to be patient, but there are times where you do need to be patient to get the things that you want. And that's about it.
You are one of I would say, if there was an MVP, a long-time record of people who played the long game, you one of the best players of it. I think I've known you since high school, and every time you planned something out, it was already like maybe a year or two ahead of when it's actually executed, but you've been executing everything you need to get to that point. So domino effect you are. You're very good at playing the long game. So take those words he said to high regard, because it will very much help you out. It's advice I'm using now. And I would like to thank you again for being here. And I would like to thank you, audience, for joining us for another celebration of Ebony Al-Kebalan African American Appreciation Month. This has been Tyree Ware at TMT Arts.
Joseph Keitt.
And we would love to see you guys join us again for another video special. Thank you, and have a good day.